Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving in something really fascinating.
Yeah, it's this collection of writings about like inner transformation.
Exactly. And energy, the connection between, us and the cosmos. Our listener, the learner, wants to get up to speed quickly and, well, properly.
And we've got some really rich sources here. Chapters on inner alchemy, Taoism, yoga, Tibetan wisdom.
Neuroscience, too, right? And Rosicrucian ideas all through Zoran's perspective.
Yeah. So our mission really is to pull out the most intriguing bits for you, the learner, without it being, totally overwhelming.
Information overload is not the goal.
Definitely not. We'll hit highlights like the Christmas tree lights within, the kingdom within, the inner Santa Claus.
And those practices, Tumo and Nadan.
Right, and the science stuff like neuroplasticity, how the brain changes, and heart-brain coherence. Plus Zoran stories and Drago's trials for practical takeaways.
Okay, and the central metaphor keeps popping up, the Christmas tree lights. It sounds really captivating.
It really is. It stands for our inner potential, our energy centers.
And that connection to the divine you mentioned.
Exactly. So today we'll unpack that, see how different traditions and even science kind of shed light on it.
Sounds good. Okay, so let's start there. This inner Christmas tree. What's the core idea?
Well, what's fascinating right off the bat is this idea that the divine spark inside us, that's the real Christmas tree.
Right, not like wires and plastic.
No, it's lit up by pure energy, infinite wisdom, basically.
And this kingdom of heaven, this potential, it's not something external we need to find.
That's the key point. It's been right here, inside, waiting for us to just, well, recognize it since birth.
Wow, since birth, waiting for us to notice. That's quite an image.
It is.
And it sounds like these sources then give us ways to actually connect to it, like plug in the lights.
Yeah, exactly. Practices like meditation, visualization, and focused breathing. They're described as the wires connecting us to that, cosmic energy.
The wires connecting us, okay.
And they even get specific, like Tumo, that's from the 6 yogas of Naropa. It's about generating this intense inner fire.
Inner fire, luminosity.
Yes, real inner heat and light, awakening something beyond just the physical.
That's pretty striking. So how did they explain the link between our lights and, well, everything else, the universe? Are we just separate bulbs?
No, that's the thing. They really emphasize we're not isolated. Our lights are like threads in this huge universal tapestry.
Connected to everything, stars, people.
Yeah, every breath even. And the pineal gland, the third eye, gets mentioned as maybe a portal in all this.
A portal. Interesting.
And practically there are Drago's trials, like the trial breath and light and the trial visualization.
So ways for you, the learner, to actually try and experience these lights yourself.
Exactly. It takes it from just theory to something you can do.
Okay, this is where it gets really good. This whole kingdom within thing, it's not some faraway place. Sounds like it's pretty universal across traditions.
Absolutely. That's a core message running through all these writings. The kingdom of heaven isn't out there. It's the light burning inside us now.
Like as above, so below.
Exactly. As within, so without. And it's compelling how you see this same basic truth pop up in so many different paths.
Can you give some examples? How do different traditions frame this kingdom within?
Well, take Taoism. It talks about cultivating qi, that inner energy, and getting in sync with the Tao, the flow of everything.
Through things like Qigong and Neidan.
Right. And breath is huge there. It's called the river of the Tao, constantly connecting us.
Okay, and yoga.
Yoga talks about chakras, the energy centers, and Kundalini as this divine potential that's often dormant.
The body as a temple kind of idea?
Precisely. Housing this inner kingdom.
What about Tibetan Buddhism and the Rosicrucians? How do they fit in?
Tibetan Buddhism talks about the luminosity of existence itself. Like reality itself is radiant.
Wow.
And practices like Tumo, again, or dream yoga, are ways to directly tap into that clear light of awareness.
Oh.
And the Rosicrucians speak of an inner temple right inside the heart, a sanctuary of divine light, like a mini universe within us.
It's amazing how they all seem to point to the same core thing, this inner light source.
It really is remarkable.
And it's not just ancient wisdom, is it? The sources bring in modern science, too.
They do. Neuroscience comes up, especially neuroplasticity.
The brain's ability to change.
Yeah, the fact that it's not fixed, it can actually reorganize itself based on our experiences, our thoughts.
We can literally shape our inner world.
That's the implication. And quantum physics gets a mention, too, the quantum field, hinting at how consciousness and reality might be linked.
Our intention influencing things.
Potentially. The brain's even called a living galaxy in there. full of possibilities.
A living galaxy. I like that.
And again, Drago's trials, like the trial of the Mirror Cosmos and Inner Pilgrimage, are given as ways to really feel this, to embody it.
Yeah, okay, now this inner Santa Claus chapter, I'm intrigued. That sounds a bit different.
It does, doesn't it? But the metaphor is about this idea of an eternal gift giver within us.
Not literally Santa, obviously.
Uh-huh. No. It represents this constant flow of renewal, of divine essence that's always there. The gifts are real things flowing from inside, keeping body and soul in harmony.
Okay, so these internal gifts, what are the parallels in other traditions?
Good question. The source is connected to Amrita in Hinduism, the nectar of immortality from churning the ocean of consciousness.
That life-giving energy source.
Exactly. And in Taoism, it links to the golden elixir, the Jindan, made through balancing yin and yang, cultivating qi.
Right, the inner alchemy goal.
And the Rosicrucians talk about the elixir of life, too. It's something alchemical for healing the soul, transformation.
So across cultures, there's this idea of inner abundance, of flowing energy.
Yeah, a source of renewal. It seems like a really fundamental human concept, this potential we have inside.
So how do we, access this inner Santa, get those gifts flowing?
Well, again, Drago's trials offer practical steps. There's the trial of nectar breath.
Nectar breath.
Uh-huh. And the trial of gratitude. They're presented as ways to actually experience this inner elixir, this life force.
So it's about tuning in, recognizing it, maybe appreciating it.
Exactly. Recognizing the abundance that's already there.
Okay, great. Now we're getting into inner alchemy practices. This sounds like the real how-to part.
Yeah, this is the toolkit, basically, for working with all these ideas.
So starting with the fire within and those Christmas tree lights, how do we actually light them up?
The sources point to using our own body systems. Fascia, that network of connective tissue everywhere.
Right, the body's internal webbing.
It's seen as key for channeling energy, like a cosmic web inside us. And the glands, they're called alchemical laboratories.
Transforming energy.
Pretty much. And meditation is key here for get the fascia aligned and activating the glands.
And there's that specific meditation, the Christmas tree meditation.
Yes, it
Wow.
directly uses that core metaphor. You visualize your energy centers like glowing bulbs.
A direct way to connect with the idea.
Exactly. And it emphasizes again how these lights connect us to the universe.
Yeah.
Maybe through the pineal gland.
So our physical body fascia, glands, is crucial for this alchemy. What about breath? The next bit is breath as the alchemist.
Right. This really highlights how vital breath is. It's the bridge, they say, between the physical and the metaphysical.
More than just breathing in and out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It has the power to transform things, turn the mundane into something divine if we work with it consciously.
And different traditions have specific techniques for this.
Absolutely. Taoist breathing, like Dantian breathing, focuses on guiding qi to the lower belly.
Okay.
Yogic breathing, pranayama, kundalini practices, they aim to harmonize energy flow, awaken potential.
Then Tibetan breathing. That tumo again?
Yes, tumo for generating that intense inner heat.
Yeah.
Powerful stuff. The sources even mention breath having a kind of sacred geometry.
In its rhythm, expansion, contraction.
Yeah, reflecting universal patterns.
It's amazing how much depth there is to something we do constantly without thinking. Okay, shifting focus slightly. The light of neuroscience. How does brain science fit in?
Well, neuroplasticity, the brain changing itself, gives us a modern way to look at transformation.
It means our brain isn't fixed.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. It's constantly being reshaped by our thoughts, our focus, our experiences. It's like an infinite canvas.
We're the artists, in a way.
That's the idea. We have a real hand in shaping it.
So things like visualization, affirmations, they're not just wishful thinking, they can actually change the brain.
From this perspective, yes, they're tools to literally rewire neural pathways.
Wow.
By focusing consistently, you create new connections, strengthen others, aligning your inner light, basically. The brain becomes a mirror of creation.
Reflecting what we cultivate inside, that's empowering.
Definitely.
Which leads nicely into inner alchemy and emotional mastery. This feels like a big one. Emotions can be tricky.
They really can be. And this part reframes them. Not as problems to get rid of, as raw material.
Yeah.
Potent energy that can actually be transformed into higher awareness.
So not suppressing anger or fear, but working with it.
Precisely. The first step is acceptance. Just acknowledging the emotion, no judgment.
Okay.
That creates the space for the alchemy to happen. And the heart is seen as the alchemist's forge.
The place where the transformation happens.
Yes, where you transmute those raw energies into something more refined, leading to emotional coherence. That balance between heart mind, body.
Right, that coherence idea comes up again. How do we connect the brain science with these energy ideas, like chakras? The next section is mapping the inner cosmos.
Yeah, this explores that overlap. Neuroplasticity meeting chakras from yoga or dantians from Taoism.
So, visualizing these centers, could that affect specific brain areas?
That's what's suggested, that visualization can activate brain regions linked to these energy hubs. There's even a cosmic constellation technique mentioned.
What's that?
It's about visualizing brain pathways in relation to these energy centers, trying to bridge that gap.
That's really interesting, connecting the physical brain with the subtle energy map. Okay, next up, vibration and frequency. This sounds fundamental.
It really is presented that way. The idea that vibration is like the basic language of the universe.
Everything vibrates.
From atoms to galaxies, yeah. Everything has its own frequency. Understanding that helps us see how we interact with everything.
So our own interstate thoughts, emotions, our vibration actually matters cosmically.
Immensely, according to these sources. Our energy centers vibrate, and when they're in harmony, we have more vitality, connection. Resonance is key.
Like attracts like.
Sort of. How our vibrations influence and are influenced by others. Sound comes into it too, like Om or healing frequencies as tools to align our vibration.
And our aura, that's our vibrational field.
Yes, and the law of vibration suggests that by raising our frequency gratitude, joy, we attract resonant experiences.
Which brings us to the alchemical marriage of heart-brain coherence. Sounds like the ultimate goal.
It's presented as a state of optimal functioning, yeah, when heart and mind are in harmony.
Not one dominating the other.
No, a synergy. Intellect and intuition working together. The electromagnetic link between heart and brain is highlighted here.
And the Rosicrucian idea of the heart as the inner sanctum fits here too.
It does, that view of the heart and the union of heart and mind being like the philosopher's stone, the key to transformation.
The philosopher's stone, wow.
And they mention scientific studies too, showing the real link between emotions and heart-brain activity. It backs up this idea of cultivating that inner marriage.
Okay, and finally, we circle back to the start. The Christmas tree lights in the pineal gland. The third eye again?
Yes, tying it all together. The pineal gland is the crowning star on top of our inner tree.
And the fascia is?
The wiring, connecting all the lights, the energy centers. The pineal is seen as a potential celestial portal.
Gateway to higher awareness.
Potentially. And fascia is the cosmic wiring for the energy flow. So practices to activate the pineal and improve fascia flow are part of illuminating the whole tree.
So the pineal isn't just biology, it's symbolic, energetic.
According to these sources, absolutely. A key piece in our inner light and connection to, well, more, working with that whole fascia network.
Well, the learner, that was quite a journey through this material, a lot to take in.
Definitely. So the key things for you, the learner, to really mull over.
This core idea, right? Your potential as these vibrant Christmas tree lights inside you.
Exactly. It's not just poetry. It echoes through so many traditions and even, science hints at it.
And we've seen how practices like breathwork, visualization, mindfulness, they're like the switches.
Yeah, ways to ignite those lights, connect deeper to your inner kingdom and the cosmos.
The big theme seems to be interconnectedness, mind, body, spirit.
And the power of your own awareness in shaping your reality. It's a really empowering message, actually, inner agency.
Okay, and for a final thought, something to chew on.
Consider this. What if your thoughts, your emotions, what if they aren't just random noise?
But actual vibrations, affecting your energy field, resonating out.
Exactly. What might change day to day if you consciously tried to cultivate higher frequencies? Gratitude, joy. Really feel them.
It's a really provocative question for exploration.
It is. And look, the stuff we touched on, inner alchemy, neuroplasticity, heart-brain coherence, it's huge. Yeah. Lifelong learning territory.
Absolutely.
So we really encourage you, the learner, check out the references and the sources, explore Taoism, yoga, Tibetan Buddhism, Rosicrucianism.
And the modern researchers too, like Joe Dispenza, HeartMath Institute.
Yeah, dive deeper into what resonates. Ask yourself, which bulb on your own inner Christmas tree feels like it's ready to glow a bit brighter right now?
A perfect question to end on.